that game, but just came up a little short.
Well, we're all set to play ball. The first pitch to Chris Getz is a little high, and we're underway. 1 ball, no strikes. Getz, Fields, and Quinton against James Shields. There's the strike. C.B. Bucknor is calling the balls and strikes. Tap foul. First base side, and the count is 1-2.
Real comfort level pitching at home for James Shields. It's one of the things he talked about. It's his routine when he gets to the ballpark, how he preps, how he gets ready. It's a little bit different on the road. You know, you just got to like that mound, that home ballpark, home cooking.
Fouls it, reaching for that one, just a little piece of it.
All ball players love to be in a routine, but especially pitchers, especially starting pitchers. Do everything the same every 5 days.
A soft little popper that's going to drop into center, out of the reach of Iwamura and in front of Upton. So Getz has a base hit. Fields, Josh Fields, the young third baseman, hitting .355. He had 3 consecutive hits last night, including the RBI single in the 9th inning that ultimately turned out to be the difference in the game. Rays scored a run in the bottom of the 9th that left 2 men in scoring position.
And Ozzie Guillen got a count where he could put a hit and run on it, and it worked to perfection to set the go-ahead, the 3rd run of the game for the White Sox up, which, like you said, turned out to be the difference, losing 3-2.
The ball to Fields, 1-0. Yeah, Ozzie he wouldn't mind playing the running game. He really hasn't had a club to do that with a lot. But if he gets a chance, he'll do it. Ground ball, 3rd. Longoria starts 1, over the first 2. Longoria, Iwamura to Pena around the horn, 5-4-3.
Well, in the game last weekend against Baltimore, James Shields got 12 ground ball outs, and this is huge right here. Being a ground ball pitcher, you got the defense behind you to do it. Nice feed to Iwamura. Great turn, quick turn by Iwamura. Really impressive at second base.
You know, it's interesting to hear other players and other coaches and baseball people talk about a club that you follow as we do, the Rays. You know, Joe Madden had said, look, Carlos Pena has a Gold Glove, and he challenged his other defenders to win a Gold Glove. That's going to be caught by Bartlett out at short. Quinton jammed a bit, hit that soft liner, and Bartlett made a nice catch retreating into left field for that one. We'll go into the bottom of the 1st. Chicago nothing, and the Rays are coming in to hit. Stamp that one with a star. Rays in the top of the first. We go to their half of the inning. To hit, we'll take a look at the starting lineup for the Rays. Leading off, B.J. Upton, followed by Carl Crawford and Evan Longoria back. That's good news. Carlos Pena, Pat Burrell, and Deotter Navarro down the middle. Gate Gross, Sakanori Iwamura, and then Jason Bartlett, 7, 8, and 9 against Bartolo Colon.
Bartolo Colon, second start of the year. He pitched 6 solid innings against the Minnesota Twins.
And Upton bounces it down to third. Fields was in and throws him out. You know, just to follow up that comment made by some of the White Sox people. You know, Madden had challenged the Rays, thinking that there are going to be more Gold Gloves out there. And I mean, other teams say that readily. They think that every player on that Rays infield could be a potential Gold Glove player. Crawford in the outfield, Upton in the outfield. There's a strike to Carl Crawford.
I think so. I think so, definitely. As far as fielding percentage, the Rays are at .991. That's second in the American League, 5th overall in baseball.
1-1 to Crawford. And the question is, with the Rays, a young team that had such great success last year, and so as people watched that and finally started to believe, there were some believers early, but from afar there were people who wondered, you know, when the team lost 7 in a row going into the All-Star break, well, is that the end? And they look for every little bit of this club. Now the question is, can a young team, having won that, continue to carry that edge and that emotion into the next year?
That's always the difficulty is to repeat, and how do you do it when you're young and athletic like the Rays are, and you've got a really super starting staff and a great bullpen. You can repeat, but the one thing is everybody's gunning for you now because it's no fluke. Sometimes you kind of overlook, you know, the players and say, well, in the past it was the Rays. You know, they haven't been above 500. It's the Rays. And all of a sudden you go, well, who is that guy? Who is that third baseman, Evan Longoria? Who's Jason Bartlett? Iwamura. I mean, all of a sudden, you know, you've woken everybody up.
Longoria grounds to third. Fields takes care of that. Third to first. 1, 2, 3. So we're at the end of an inning. No score. Stewie is here. Could Peter be far away? We go to the second. Jim Thome will lead it off. It'll be Thome, Dye, and Konerko with James Shields on the hill. 1, 2, 3 went the Rays. Shields faced 3 men, gave up a hit, but got the double play ball. Crawford's going to take care of this fly ball. One away. Don't forget now, This season's first episode of Inside the Rays will follow our telecast, our coverage of this game. Inside the Rays, how a club goes from worst to first as we look at the great moments in the Rays' dramatic turnaround and meet the unique personalities that made it possible. Inside the Rays, a breakthrough season immediately following our game tonight on Sun Sports. Jermaine Dye, the first pitch to him is a strike. 2.
And fans, I think a lot of fans were either here last night or they saw the game because they're giving a little the old cheer to Jermaine Dye.
I mean, that's just a little nuance that you love to see fans pick up on.
Absolutely.
1 ball, 2 strikes here. Madden ejected. He said he really thought he had a good argument. Dye is out on strikes this time. Out in front. 2 up, 2 down here in the second inning.
That put away changeup right here. Great movement. Look at that movement on that, and the bottom falling out of it. That ball moved about 8 inches. Started out right over the heart of the plate and down and landed at the back foot of Jermaine Dye. Great mechanics.
Madden said the same thing that we talked about and that you mentioned. You being a manager, of course, you would be right all over that. But he said the main thing to Madden was, he said the last point he tried to make is that none of the umpires saw it.
Saw
his foot.
Right. How can you make a call? You didn't see it. Just like Ben Zobrist when he got hit the ball got hit by the pitch the other night. Umpires said, well, we can't award him first base because we didn't see it. Sorry. Well, how can you award Jermaine Dye a foul ball to go back up and hit again if you didn't see it go off his foot? You know, the replay took 5 times before you could finally see it. It looked like it went off the front.
Roller for the shortstop, Bartlett. There's the tag of Konerko by Pena. That'll retire the side. 1, 2, 3. We're through an inning and a half tonight. No score.
By authority of the Tampa Bay Rays and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Bottom of the second. Here's Jermaine Dye. The fans have made some posters for him. Just checking. They're kind-hearted. They want to know how his foot's feeling. And Carlos Pena leads off by looking at a strike from Bartolo Colon.
Well, it's amazing to see Bartolo. You know, he's thrown 89 to 91. Boy, back in his heyday with the Indians, he'd hit 100 frequently.
He just fouled back. Joe Madden was talking about, we'll see if it's in evidence tonight. He got that pitch, and he'll start it against a left-hander inside, and it comes back. And I mean, really comes back. You'll see hitters sometimes bail out on a pitch that will come back and be called a strike.
Yeah, I saw him in spring training a few weeks ago at the end, and he threw pretty well, and I was surprised. But you know, last year in Boston, he didn't do that badly. There's that one you're talking about right there. Look at the movement on that pitch. And A.J. Przinsky will call that. He'll sit up on the inside corner and try to run it back and try to freeze the hitter.
There's a shot, but it's going to be foul. Boy, I'll tell you, he can hit him far. Wow. Pena, a long blast, but foul.
Well, he gets that lift on the ball, through the ball, because he loads so well. Talked about that the other night on the back leg. In his setup position, he's really balanced and quiet, but he loads and feels the ground with the back foot as the pitch is on the way, and then explodes with the hands through the zone.
There's a fly ball back to straightaway center. Anderson back to the track. Gone! Home run to center for Carlos Pena. That's number 6, and the Rays are out in front 1-0. Carlos Pena has extended his hitting streak to 10 in a big way. Home run, dead center.
That ball had a little tailing action also. That was a two-seamer going away from Carlos Pena, and he just squirted up to dead center field. And again, he's able to stay back so nicely because he loads on the back leg.
Pat Burrell, 1-0. Take
a look at this. There's a load on that back leg right there. Stays back when he plants the front foot, and look at that back arm through the. I got to clear that telescope. I'm getting all excited. So many things I want to show. But you know, that back arm gets inside too. That power V, I call it.
There's a broken bat and a ground ball to second. Getz takes care of Burrell's ground ball. Well, let's go back to that, Kevin.
Right here, that power V, that's the back arm I wanted to show you. We already showed you how he loads in the back leg. That's how you stay inside the ball and not hook it foul right there. That back arm right there. And there's the extension of the lead arm short to the ball. And watch the finish right here of Carlos Pena. Wow. You get that back arm in that power V position. You short to the ball with your lead arm. And then you finish off your swing. That's what extension is. It's the lead arm that gets through the ball pitch. The back arm has to be in that power V position on contact. Beautiful swing.
Carlos with 6 home runs now. Navarro takes the pitch up for ball 2. He's hit 3 off lefties and 3 off right-handers at this point.
That was a bullet to dead center field. That just took off.
2-1. He did the same thing last year of his first 6 home runs. He had 3 off lefties and 3 off right-handers. Boy, oh boy, is he swinging some bat. 3-1.
Yeah, that's 6 overall and 5 in his last 6 games.
Ground ball, first base. Konerko's going to make the play by himself. 2 outs.
Your right fielder, number 26.
Pena came in to this game with a 240 lifetime average against Cologne. That's the 2nd career home run he's hit off him.
Well, in the game that Bart's throwing now, it's all about movement and location. It's not about power like it was before his injury. He's become a finesse guy, which is fine. I mean, he's got his career back. At Boston, his ERA was 3.92 in the 7 starts that he made. It was not bad. 4-2 with a 3.92 ERA.
Ground ball back to the hill. He drops it but picks it up and still has time. The Rays are out in the second, but they break out in front on the long home run to center off the bat of Carlos Pena. 1-0 Tampa Bay. The Rays have a 1-run lead as we move into the third. Shields and Cologne, the pitching matchup tonight. AJ Pierzynski, catcher, leads it off. Outside, 1-0. A 2-0 count. Shields began his last start against the Orioles by retiring the first 8 men he faced, and 9 of the first 10 he faced. Now he's behind Pierzynski, 3-0. Gave up a base hit to Getz to start this one, but he raced him on a double play ball. There's a strike. Center field. Gross will go all the way to the wall. Upton is there. It's going to bounce up over the fence for a ground rule double. Pierzynski collects his first extra base hit of the year.
Well, he's sitting dead red, a 3-1 count. Shields tried to throw the ball away with a little movement. It came over the heart of the plate. Nice swing by AJ. You see him getting inside. There's that back arm of AJ. Getting inside the ball right there and launching it to right center field for the ground rule double. But he got a free pitch right there, and Shields just tried to spot a little sinking fastball and left it up.
Alexei Ramirez comes out swinging and fouls it. That's a strike. Ramirez, an aggressive hitter. .290 last year with 21 home runs.
tell you one thing, he's not trying to get the runner over.
No.
First 2 swings, he's trying to go downtown. Pulled off both those pitches.
Well, he's 2 for 2 against Shields coming off last year, and one of those was a home run in the game that Shields pitched against them here last year. That accounted for the only Chicago run. He popped it up, and Pena is there to make the catch. 1 away. Tonight's game is available in resplendent high definition for a list of cable and satellite providers offering Sun Sports in HD, along with channel numbers. Log on to sunsportstv.com.
Well, that was not a productive out for Alexi Ramirez. Nice sequence by Shields on getting a pop out.
Brian Anderson. Good business strike. You know, Anderson, you see Ramirez on the bench after popping to the first baseman. Anderson has an opportunity. Ozzie Guillen has been looking for a center fielder. They went with Dwayne Wise, and he got hurt, shoulder separation. They signed Scott Pasetnik to a minor league deal, so he's perhaps in the wings again.
He is, yep.
But Anderson is a guy who the White Sox for the last few seasons really been waiting for him to take charge of that center field job.
Yeah, when Aaron Rowan left, I mean, it was really Brian Anderson was the guy that Kenny Williams and Ozzie Guillen, but a lot of it was Kenny Williams thought he was absolutely ready. I remember talking to Kenny about that because I had never seen Brian. He said, oh, he's ready. He's ready for the big leagues. He just didn't hit enough. And what Ozzie Guillen has said, and it says now, said then and now, I want to see better at bats out of Brian Anderson. That's all I can tell you. When a player reads that, puts a little pressure on him, but Ozzie is Ozzie. I mean, he speaks the truth, and he's not afraid to speak out to the press about his players. He wants to see better at bats. He's not seen good enough at bats from Brian. 167 as we speak.
And a base hit into center field. Brzezinski is going to stop at third. Pena cuts off the throw. So it's a base hit for Anderson, and Brzezinski now at third with Anderson at first.
That'll help his case right there. He got a 3-1 pitch right down the middle. So a couple 3-1 counts have put the Sox hitters in good counts for them to hit fastballs, and Brzezinski doubles to right. Now Brian Anderson lines a one-hop single to center.
Gets one. Brzezinski third, Anderson at first. Gets out of the University of Michigan. Got a double and a base hit last night. Shoots it into left toward the line. That's in there for a base hit. Crawford cuts it off. The throw's back down the line. A run scored. It's going to be a double for Getz. Anderson to third, and the game is tied 1-1. So the White Sox come right back with 3 hits here in the third.
Yeah, James Shields not happy with himself. His mislocation this inning, got behind the count. This one is up and out over the plate. He was trying to go inside. The ball ran back out over the plate. And Getz just hit it where it was pitched.
Now here's Josh Fields. 2 men in scoring position with 1 out. And the first pitch is in there for a strike. at home last year with a 259 earned run average here. And a one hopper to short. The run's going to score from third. The play's at first. Anderson crosses the plate. Fields is out. Picks up a run batted in. And the White Sox take a 2-1 lead. Sixth RBI of the year for Fields, the second in this series. Two gone with Getz still at second. And the danger is Carlos Quentin. He swings through the fastball, strike one. Boy, does this guy take a cut and a half.
I was just going to say, this guy was trying to hit the ball downtown also. He wasn't trying to get a base hit for an RBI. He was trying to hit a 2-run home run.
Fouled it off his foot. 2 strikes.
I know this player was here, and he played for me for 4 years, but he reminds me at the plate of Jose Canseco.
He does, doesn't he?
He sets up, yeah.
Yep.
And I know he went to Stanford. He's from the Bay Area, so I've never asked him, but I'm wondering if he saw Jose maybe as a youngster when Jose was playing for the A's. He's pretty much copied his stance.
Yep. He had to do exactly that.
Yeah.
It's so much like him.
I've never seen a guy as similar to Jose in the setup position as Carlos Quentin.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Quentin led the American League in home runs last year as late as the 27th of September. And Miguel Cabrera hit number 37. And his season ended earlier than he wanted. A foul ball and another big cut. 1-2. He fractured his right wrist on the first day of September, and that was it for him. Surgery a week later, and so he finished with 36 home runs last year and 100 runs batted in. The 1-2 strike 3 call. Fastball frozen. That retires the side. 2 runs, 3 hits, a man left. Bottom of the third coming. 2-1 Chicago. Trailing by a run. Kids, every home Sunday game is Kids Sunday on Sun Sports and Fox Sports Florida. Means our camera crews will be in stands searching for the most creative sign that shows your support for the Rays. So grab your markers and poster board and get to work. The kids with the best sign will be seen on live TV during the telecast. All part of Kids Sundays this year on Sun Sports and Fox Sports Florida. Kenori Iwamura takes the pitch outside. Another thing on those Sunday telecasts coming up this Sunday on the pregame, about half of the Rays pitchers will be handing out advice to young pitchers out there as it relates to their careers and how they started, the safe things to do, the correct things to do. So you'll want to be sure and tune in for that advice from the Rays pitchers, aimed specifically at young pitchers out there.
I love that. I wish as a kid I had advice like that. You know, you just kind of picked it up on your own.
Yep.
You know, I didn't know as a catcher you were supposed to grab the ball across the fourth seam, the big horseshoe of the seam, until I was like 13, 14 years old.
Strike three call to Aki.
That's the two-seamer you were talking about, Dwayne, last inning, and he'll run off the inside corner. A.J. Brzezinski sets up in, and look at this movement. That is a strike. That's a good pitch, and C.B. Buckner's all over it. Brzezinski gives him a good look.
One away, and here's Jason Bartlett. Pitch is in there, strike one. Jason hitting .389 with a couple of home runs. Malone quickly out in front. He's facing the 35-year-old right-hander. He had surgery on his elbow during the offseason. Clean it up, took some chips out of there. A ball, two strikes.
Yeah, Bart wanted that one. Pretty good pitch right there. A little bit down.
2-2. Made 7 starts with the Red Sox last year. 4-2 in those starts. Spent some time at their AAA club, Pawtucket. Ground ball to third. Long throw for Fields, and it's on the money. 2 up and 2 down. Rays here on this homestand celebrating championship week. Tomorrow, all fans receive the American League replica championship trophy, and Sunday, the first 10,000 kids receive an American League championship pennant. Visit RaysBaseball.com or call 888-FAN-RAYS for tickets. There's Upton putting down the bunt, and he can forget about that one. Fields has no play. Upton bunts his way on. It's his second bunt hit.
And almost identical to the one he did against the Yankees in his first start of the season. Look at this. Perfect. Drop the back leg, hit the barrel out front, angled perfectly. Fields can put it in his pocket.
Move to first. Back in there. Carl Crawford. You know, the Rays and Upton showing great ability to put that bunt down. And Crawford's showing willingness to try to bunt. How about if both those guys turned out to be good bunters with their speed at the top of the order?
Well, you know, if you work at it, you will be. Carl Crawford tried to drag a bunt the other day against, I believe it was Andy Pettit, and just couldn't get it quite by him. But, you know, it's a good try.
Crawford, ground ball to first. Canocho steps on the bag to retire the side. No runs, a hit from the man left. We're through 3 innings tonight with a score 2-1 Chicago. And it's time for the Aflac trivia question. Aflac, ask about it at work. Jason Bartlett swiped 2 bases last night. Who was the last Ray to steal 3 in a game? Jim Thome to lead it off. Middle of the order, Thome, Dye, and Konerko. Ground ball up the middle. Longoria is going to make the play. He was over there out of that shift playing the shortstop spot, and he still had to go up the middle for that ground ball.
Well, that helps getting the first pitch out because it's a 22-pitch inning in the third for James Shields. Other side of the bag at second base, Bartlett makes the play on the run.
Now Jermaine Dye. Pitch is too low.
That's where you want to stay. The boy, he hits that ball. He gets on top. See where his hands are up by his head. He gets on top of those high fastballs really well.
He works his way through there, and when he makes contact, so you get that backspin that helps carry.
Yeah, he swings down and through the ball. Watch where his hands are. He's got his hands way up high at the top of his strike zone. That's why he's a pretty good high ball hitter.
Chases that one. It's 2-2.
Good curveball right there by Shields. Look at the movement. Down and away. Right out of the zone. That's the one Dye likes I'm talking about. He gets through that pitch.
After the fastball. Count still 2-2. Count. A couple of strikeouts, no walks, 2 runs and 4 hits allowed by Shields. They'll do it again on 3-2. Shields.
That put away changeup 3-2. Great pitch when you're behind the count because Dye is thinking fastball. Look at the movement down and into a swing. Right there. Look at that movement. That's a tough pitch.
You know, if you take that pitch and then the pitch that Cologne's throwing when he starts it at the left-handed hitter and has it tailed back. I don't know what you do with those pitches if you're a hitter.
You're looking for a mistake before you get 2 strikes before it gets to that point.
1-0 to Paul Konerko.
And when both guys are throwing strikes, that's why you see guys jump on the first pitch. That's what Bartolo Colon is. He's a finesse guy now, but he's painting.
1-1. Say this, Cologne's a little stingy with the leather there. That glove is not very big, is it?
No, it isn't. He's ready to go already. He wants to get back out there.
2 outs, 1-1 to count to Konerko. 2 balls and a strike. Yeah, his glove is, you know, a second baseman would use a small glove, and I think his is smaller than most second basemen.
Yeah, exactly. You use that to get rid of the ball quickly at second base, so you can turn it on a play quick.
Ooh, pretty close. Taken for ball 3.
Yeah, that was a nice location right there. Look at this ball run in off the inside corner.
Wow.
Not where Navarro catches it. It's where across the plate. Looks like it caught that inside corner.
3-1 is drilled back into center. Upton back and over the shoulder. Did it again. B.J. Upton got back there to the track and with his back to the infield gathered it in. He looked like a wide receiver in the end zone that time. Take a look at this over the shoulder grab. Stamp that one with a star, folks. Answer. Jason Bartlett with a couple steals last night. The last Ray to steal 3 bases in a game. Who might that be? That would be Jason Bartlett.
I had a feeling. I should have said it. Too late.
And there they are. Longoria rolling a ground ball to third. So for the second straight time, Evan goes out Fields to Konerko. Carlos Pena to the plate.
That's 8 ground ball outs for Colon already and a couple of strikeouts.
And he's doing it in short order. Not a lot of pitches. He got ahead of Carlos in the second, and Pena hit the 1-2 pitch out to center field. It's too high. 1 ball, no strikes.
Yeah, Colon coming into this inning, 34 pitches, 23 strikes. Painting both sides of the plate.
It's a strike, and it's 1-1. You know, his fastball has been consistently in the low 90s, 92. There was a time when he threw much harder than that.
I saw him in the mid 90s, and he came up with the Indians many a time.
High pop fly this time. It's Ramirez out there, and he makes the catch. Ramirez, who's playing shortstop, was shifted around and made the catch in center field.
Saw
Corona Beach Bar hosts 75 or more people in the exclusive setting during a Rays game. Reserve the Corona Beach Bar by calling 727-825-3406.
I was going to say about Colon, we're talking about his velocity. I mean, he used to maintain 98, 99 going into the 8th inning for a few years there when he was with the Indians. That's how dominant he was. He got stronger with the fastball as the game got deeper. Talked to Sandy Alomar Jr. about that. He said that's his MO. When he gets going deeper in the game, if that velocity would actually pick up. That was unusual. I mean, he won't do that anymore, of course. I've seen him clocked many times at 100.
Ball 3. And recently he's really had a heck of a time staying healthy, and it's one of the things that was a problem for him last year in the Red Sox organization. Strike call. He had a back strain and a left oblique problem over there.
Yep.
And the elbow cleaned up this offseason.
Well, he was with the White Sox once before, and Kenny Williams was talking in spring training about it. He said, you know, we know what he's about, and if he tells me he's ready to pitch and be with the club opening day, I'm going to believe him. And Park said he was ready. He didn't want to go down to the minor leagues.
Chopped to third. Fields drops it. Burrow's still on the move, but Fields has time, and he throws him out. 1, 2, 3 go the Rays. We're through 4. It's 2-1 Chicago. Double of the week. That's the ball he caught against the Yankees Monday when Nady hit one to center field. And then last inning, he tracked that one down off the bat of Paul Konerko. I'll tell you, that's a good week's worth of work right there. 2 of those in the same week. You're just not going to see many better catches than that.
No, you know, he's a great center fielder because I like guys that play shallow. That means he has a lot of confidence going back on balls.
A.J. Brzezinski fouls the first pitch away. That's a strike.
He plays a very shallow center, and the best center fielders do play shallow because they have confidence on going back to the wall, just like you saw in those 2 plays. Don't shy away from it.
Fly ball to Crawford in left. That's one away.
The other reason why it's important to play shallow, you have confidence going back, because more balls really are going to be hit in front of you. You take more singles away when you play shallow like that. Around the league, I see a lot of outfielders playing so far back they almost have paint on their back, and that really frustrates the pitcher. And if the manager allows that to happen and doesn't have the athleticism in the outfield, I mean, of course, you have to play like that. But the Rays have a very athletic ball club.
There's Ramirez taking the pitch down. Well, what we've seen out of Upton with those 2 catches goes right back to what we talked about earlier. You know, Pena has a Gold Glove this year and was awarded that glove here the other night. But Joe Maddon had said right from the beginning of spring training that there are more Gold Gloves to be had out there. The Rays should think about escalating their play and being even better defensively. There's a nice breaking ball for a strike. And you know, Crawford, I think at times he feels that he's been a little overlooked, and LaGloria is a great glove there at third. Bartlett, you know, it's interesting. when Bartlett was named the team MVP last year, there were people all over the country that just said, how could that be? They didn't believe it.
Because they didn't see a lot of the games.
They didn't see him play every day. And statistically, you know, the interesting thing about that, and I think as sophisticated as statistics are now, and the way that we evaluate hitters and pitchers defensively, I think it's still difficult to quantify how good a fielder or a guy is as much as they try. Statistically, in the most sophisticated ways that they measure infielders, they tell us that Angel Baroa, who couldn't make a team this year, and Brendan Harris, who played for the Rays, and a great player in terms of a utility player.
Right.
Statistically, they say those two guys are a better shortstop than Bartlett. Well, you know that's not true.
That's not true.
You just know that.
That's I'm sorry, that's ridiculous.
But those are the most sophisticated numbers to try to quantify defensive work that man has ever known since he started to compile those, and to come up with that conclusion is just wrong.
You got to see, you know, you have to scout. It's really tough too. I mean, there's a lot of video scouting going on today. You've got to see players in person. I mean, that was my pet peeve about being in the studio so much doing baseball work. I wanted to be at the ballpark, and that's why I would go down to Dodger Stadium every night they were there, is to see players in person. You get a whole different perspective.
Have to. You're right. You're absolutely right. Pitch out on the first pitch to Anderson.
Outfielders, for example, I mean, you can't see that unless you're at the ballpark, how quick they jump. And I'm watching the center fielder right now as the ball's on the way. I want to see how they react. That's what good scouts do. Al Campenis, the former GM of the Dodgers, used to say, I want scouts sitting on the edge of their seats. I don't want guys all chatting with about 8 or 10 guys behind home plate and sharing notes.
Pretty close over there at first. Wow. Very close. Ramirez just did get his hand back in there.
Mike Everett making that call at first base. Little flinch right there. That's a perfect throw and a sweet tag.
I'll tell you, that they might have had him. I'm not.
Let's take a look, see if the sweep tag, if he missed.
2-0.
Carlos might have missed Ramirez getting back in with the sweep. And Mike Everett, first base umpire, was right there. He was all over it.
And that's the other thing that you always have to be careful about replays. As great as HD can be, you still don't have the true depth perception.
No, you don't.
It's still essentially two-dimensional, and so you know there are a lot of plays that an umpire will be right on that appears that he might not be right, because on the replay you've just got two dimensions and not the depth, and that might be one of those right there.
Yeah, and you only got one shot at it too.
Yep.
It goes back to also last night what Joe Madden said. Did you see it hit Jermaine Dye's foot when he fouled that ball? And nobody could say they did. We had to watch replays for about 5 minutes before we could finally tell.
That's right. Yeah, that's how good we are.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, maybe. Okay, great angle. That's good camera work by our guys, you know. But you know, you don't want everything reviewable in baseball. You're playing for 5 hours.
That was 3-1 to Anderson. Well, at the end of the day, the umpires have such a difficult job. You know, and if they're trying hard, I mean, all you can do is respect them.
Well, that's wow. Good quick move over there. Get Ramirez to flinch. Got a run and hit count right here.
It's foul back. Fastball fouled straight back, and the count is full.
Now you really have a run and hit count. I think Ozzie puts him in motion this time. Going to force Brian Anderson to make contact. I'd be surprised if Ozzie doesn't send Ramirez in this situation because he wants to do a little bit more running this year than he did a year ago.
Let's see. Ramirez draws the toss again from Shields.
And all you need really is if Ramirez is a one-way lead, and that's what that was, meaning he's looking to get back to first base. When you're going to steal, you got to get a two-way lead, meaning you got to read the pitcher. Now he doesn't have to steal. It's a run and hit situation. It's the hitter's job to put it in play here or take ball forward.
Runner takes off. The pitch is low for a ball. And so down to second goes Ramirez. Back-to-back walks here as Anderson takes a walk to first.
Well, one thing C.B. Buckner has shown tonight, he's not calling that ball at the knees, or what he thinks is below the knees, I should say. But that's where you got to pitch in the big leagues. You got to pitch down there. It's a pretty good pitch. Navarro had a little chat about that. And Navarro did the right thing because you can't wait for the call. You got to get rid of the ball down to second base, and he did the right thing throwing it down there.
And I'm just going to guess here that Shields is a little frustrated by that call too, and I think Hickey's out there trying to diffuse that a little bit.
Yeah, well, the thing is that Shields is thinking, I'm sure, and I think the same thing as a manager. You know, if we can't get that pitch, I mean, where are we supposed to pitch? You know, you're supposed to pitch the ball down to knees, and if you make a pitch when you're supposed to get the call. It could have been a strike him out, throw him out, double play. Instead, you got 2 on and 1 out.
Yeah, and you do have a chance to throw out Ramirez. He can steal a base once in a while, but his stolen base to caught stealing ratio was not very good last year.
Yeah, I mean, he almost got picked off twice. So in that situation, 3-2.
First pitch to Chris Getz is a strike.
3-2. Ozzie Guillen, all that is there is a run and hit. So his job is not to steal a base; it's just to be in motion to eliminate the double play and maybe open up a hole if Brian Anderson puts it in play. Brian Anderson's job was to make contact. Hit and run's a whole different story.
And then the question is, on a pitch that close, how's a guy take that pitch?
I'm not sure when you're hitting 167. I mean, you got to be hacking, don't you? You know, there's still that air of respect out there. If you're, you know, a veteran guy like a Jim Thome or, you know, has been around, you're going to get the calls. If you've shown you've been a pretty selective hitter over the years, you're going to get the benefit of the doubt.
That's a great stop by Pena. Shields covers to get the out. A Gold Glove play by Carlos Pena, cutting off a potential double by Getz. And the runners advance to second and third there with 2 outs now.
That's exactly what you're talking about. The defense out there saving you. This saved a run in a second and third 1-out situation for sure. And you see in the background where Gabe Gross is. I mean, he was over in dead right field. He wasn't playing Getz to pull, so that definitely would have been a double. It might have been 2 runs because it might have taken a while. Great play right there. Pena feed and good feed to Shields covered. It would have taken a while for Gabe to get over there in the right field corner. I think that might have scored both guys because Anderson can run. Trailing running.
Fields takes it inside. Yeah, I think you're right. He saved a couple runs there.
I mean, if you hit 46 home runs and knock in 120, how many has Carlos Pena saved?
Line drive right to Longoria. Boy, hit that ball right on the button, and it retires the side. Sox lead 2. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's 2-1 Chicago. Eat fresh. And by Dodge. Grab life by the horns. We're at Tropicana Field tonight. That has been the hot corner in Longoria. Got a feel for that on the shot off the bat of Josh Fields to end the top half of this inning. Deanna Navarro will open the Rays half of the fifth. Then Gross and then Iwamura. The strike.
You like to make Bartolo Colon work a little bit, but he's been throwing strikes. I mean, he's painting it at 45 pitches now, 30 for strikes.
1-1. You know, there have only been 2 other pitchers from the Dominican Republic win more games in the major leagues than Colon. Juan Marichal is one, and Pedro Martinez is the other.
That's saying a lot right there, because Juan Marichal is in the Hall of Fame. I grew up as a kid seeing a lot of him, because when the Dodgers and Giants played it, they were always on TV. And then Pedro speaks for itself.
2-1 lifted toward right center. Dye trying to run a straight line. Can't get there. Cut off by Anderson. Navarro's on his way to second with a double. 2-base hit for DeHonor, his third of the year.
That was a good at-bat night by Navarro, because he did work the count. He did take a first pitch strike, but he got himself into a hitting count. And he got a pitch out over the plate. The outer half of the plate, and he stayed back nicely on that one. Good finish. There's some extension right there, way out in front. And turned on that ball. I think Dye's foot was probably in there. If you could get to that.
Yeah, that's right.
Just kidding.
Here's Gabe Gross now. He takes one upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes.
I think unlike what the White Sox did when they had a runner at second, nobody out, they didn't try to get the runner over. I think Gabe really has to try to pull the ball here. I mean, Bartolo's been getting the ground ball outs anyway. I think Gabe really has to make an effort, because you want to get the runner over to third here and try to tie up this game. That was the pitch to do it on.
Strike. 1-1.
You've got Iwamura and Bartlett to follow, and both guys are hitting well. And I think you want to even this game up and get the momentum back on the Rays side right here. But Gabe doesn't have to drive the run in. Just got to get him over for sure.
Yep. Fly ball the other way to left. Whitten comes in and makes the catch, and no chance for Navarro to advance. So he's still at second with 1 out.
That's a tough out right there, because you really want to, you actually have to change your swing a little bit and really roll your wrist and roll over. But it's one of those times you do want to roll over the two-seamer. If you get one through the hole, great. If not, you get a runner at third and 1 out.
Hockey called out on strikes on that pitch in his first time.
I guarantee that's what Joe Maddon's thinking too. And hearing Joe's comments too about the hitting in the pregame, he's, that's the type of stuff he's talking about. It's not that you have to get a base hit every time, but you just have to have good situational at bats.
Yep, got advanced guys. Looks at a strike. It's 1-1. Representatives from Aki's hometown in Japan, Uwajima, were here. They produced 100 pearl brooches celebrating the Rays American League Championship for the Rays players and coaches and staff, including the mayor. 2-1 now. Well, they were part of the pregame ceremonies here. Mayor Ishibashi. Foul ball, fastball, foul straight back.
Yeah, that's a good swing right there. He was right on it, and he knows it. Aki knows he got one to hit. Just missed it.
Navarro opened with a double. He's at second with one out. 2-2 the count to Aki. And that one stayed in. Get the tail back on that one as much, and the count is full.
I was mentioning this last night about AJ Pierzynski. If you watch him from the center field shot, he doesn't give away his location until Colon moves. And it's very tough to relay location if you're Deanna Navarro trying to help Aki at home plate. Very, very important for a catcher not to give away location.
And there's a high fly ball, not overly deep to right. Jermaine Dye to make the catch. Navarro tags and holds, and he's still at second base now with 2 gone. Get in on the 09 Rays action with exclusive on-field seating with your group of 50 or more at the Checkers Bullpen Cafe. Available dates are going fast, so act to get your private group reservations behind the Rays bullpen by calling 727-825-3406 or go to RaysBaseball.com. Jason Bartlett. The Rays got a run in the second on the home run. This is their only other scoring opportunity. 1 ball, no strikes.
Just watching where Brian Anderson's playing. Look where Brian's playing, how deep he's playing compared to B.J. Upton. And the point is that, you know, you could drop a base hit in the center field right there. You got no chance of throwing out Deanna Navarro, but B.J. will play in front of the burst, a little star burst right there, the Rays burst right there. He'll play right pretty much on that, and he'll take a base hit away. I don't know if Brian could take a line drive away right there where he's at.
There's a line shot up the left field side, back into the corner. Extra bases. This will tie the game as Navarro scores, and Jason Bartlett continues to swing a very hot bat. Boy, there wasn't any question. That sounded good. Headed up the left field line.
Sure did. Short, compact, quick swing right there. He got a little two-seamer in, and he turned on it. He wasn't going to let Bartolo Colon get in on him, and he got through it too. A lot of ground ball out so far, but he got through that ball. Take a look from the side, how he gets in right there. Look at that head down on the ball. What kind of concentration right there. The high finish.
He continues to be the leading American League shortstop in the hitting department. And now here's B.J. Upton. 1 ball, no strikes. B.J. bunted his way on in the third. Two and nothing.
You know, stealing signs and looking at catchers, giveaway signs. Those are really important things, the subtleties of the game in the big leagues. AJ is very well aware of it. He's a veteran guy that, you know, location could be given if he sets up too soon. You know, and there's ways to give location. It's not like back in Little League days where you hold your arm out. Hey, you're setting up. You can't do that in the big leagues. You'll get one in the wrist. Look at AJ. I mean, he's checking out where BJ's setting up. Got his eyes on Colon, but he's going to wait until Bart moves. As soon as Colon moves, then he moves. There he goes.
Foul back by B.J. 2-2.
Because if he sets up inside too soon, number one, Bartlett can relay that by maybe crossing over or leading, looking to his right first before looking to his left. And that will tell the hitter the ball's coming inside, and you know it's a two-seam fastball. Watch AJ again. He'll wait. There he goes.
Ooh, pretty close. Wow.
Yeah, he's not calling it. That's about 4 in down there, and AJ's upset, Bart's upset, but so is James Shields, and rightfully so. You're supposed to pitch down there. It's at the knees. About 4 times I've seen CB Buckner not call that pitch.
Full count. Bartlett second, 2 outs. The game is tied. BJ fouls the fastball out of play.
You know, there are some ballparks and ball clubs that were famous for stealing signs. None more famous than the White Sox.
Yep. Yeah, there are a lot of ways to do it and a lot of ways to relay it, from scoreboards and windows and center field and beyond.
We used to do it in Texas, just crossing over. If we crossed over when we let off the bag, it meant ball inside. If we
and there's strike 3 call. Upton thought he'd drawn the walk. He's out on strikes, and so we're at the end of 5. The Rays have tied it on a 2-base hit by Jason Bartlett. Through 5, 2-2 ball game. Bottom of the 5th inning. Let's take another critical look at this one.
It's a 2-seamer outside. I mean, it's clearly outside as it crosses the plate. There's no doubt about that. And the catcher's telling it's a ball because he pulls it in. Look at that. Pulled it in, and here's CB Buckner biting on that.
And the pitch to Carlos Quentin is hit a mile. Deep into left center field and gone. Carlos Quentin on the first pitch here in the 6th. Hits a fastball out of sight, and it's now a 3-2 game. So no sooner do the Rays tie it in the 5th than the long ball gives Chicago the lead in the 6th.
Let's take a look at James Shields. He tried to get that in. It was out, again, it ran out over the plate. And that's what Carlos was looking to do. First 2 at bats, that's all he was looking to do, was hit a home run, and he got one in the 3rd.
So it's a 1-run game again. His 5th home run of the year. Jim Thome. He nubs one third base side. Shields bare hands and throws into the runner, and it hits Thome bounding down the right side and is backed up by Iwamura, and that's going to be a base hit on the number by Jim Thome.
A swinging bunt right there off the end of the bat for Thome, and Shields had to make a barehanded off-balance throw. Looked like he was going to make a great play. Let's take a look at Jim Thome. Got him right on the left, looked like a tricep on his left arm. With some of these power guys like Quentin, it's almost like we were talking about with the Yankees, Robbie Cano. You're almost better off starting them off with a changeup. They're just looking to turn on a fastball so badly.
Great Dye up here, takes a pitch down. Dye, 3 home runs. Look at this on our Toyota trend. 81 extra base hits since the start of last year. He's in the top 10 in the major leagues in that department. Hammers this one deep into left center field, and that's going to get out of here. A 2-run shot. And now it's a 5-2 ball game. All of this in short order. In the span of 4 pitches, they've scored 3 runs.
There's that pitch up. And that's what we were talking about earlier with his events. Yeah, that ball's up. He's a good high ball hitter. Had a little cut to him, a little slider, but it was up, held high. He could crush the ball up in his own. Excellent high ball hitter.
Now Paul Konerko. It's inside. Ball, no strikes. So Shields touched for 3 runs here in the 6th inning. Two and one. Swing, a little hopper, picked up barehanded by Longoria, and he makes the play. Skipped by Shields, but Longoria was there to barehand it and get the out.
Evan Longoria comes in as well as anybody, feeling these little swing type bunts. Barehand, off the right foot, all in one motion, beautiful. Strike.
A.J. Brzezinski. Pitch is low. Brzezinski doubled in the 3rd and scored. He's 1 for 2.
Yeah, you want to gather yourself here now. You're James Shields. It's 5-2, but there's still plenty of time left for the offense. He likes to work quickly. Sometimes you need to take a little breather.
Up and away, and he's behind Brzezinski 3-0, and you can see in his body language that
he's upset.
He's frustrated.
You don't want to rush the end of an inning. You got to make some pitches.
3-1.
He's ready to go. I mean, you love playing behind a guy who loves to work fast, but sometimes you got to back off, take a little breather, gather yourself, then come back on the mound.
Fly ball right field. That'll send Gross back to the track, and he makes the catch. He gathers it in. Couple of steps from the wall.
And one thing you can't do is let the umpire take you out of the game, too. Because there's definitely been some questionable calls, but it's gone both ways. It happened for Cologne also.
Alexi Ramirez. Pitch is in there for a strike. Ground ball 3rd. Warriors go to first. In time retires the side. Couple of home runs in the inning. The leadoff shot by Quentin. And then a 2-run blast by Dye. 5-2 Chicago. Cadillac. Ask about it at work. Carl Crawford. First pitch to Carl, a strike. So the Rays are down by 3. We're in the bottom of the 6th. 1-1. A ball and 2 strikes. Carl has struck out and grounded out to first. Colon had, through the first 4 innings, very quick at bats for the Rays hitters. They extended them a little bit in the 5th. 2-2. 35-year-old right-hander. He won the Cy Young Award in 2005 with the Angels when he was 21-8. High pop up on the infield. Fields, the third baseman, makes the catch. That's the first out. It's the Coors Light 6th inning, and it's time for the Coors Light freeze cam. Let's go back to BJ's bunt base hit in the 3rd. Freeze that along the way. His 2nd bunt hit since coming back to the Rays. Perfectly located. That was the Frost Brewed Coors Light freeze cam. Upstairs to Longoria, 1-0.
Yeah, that's by the book. The technique B.J. Upton had a bunt for a base hit if you're right-handed down the third base line. Use his legs, angle the bat out front. Get you probably 20 bunt base hits this year. A couple this week already.
Tell you that can add 20 or 30 points to your average. 1-2.
I had a kid in the minor leagues in AAA that had a long career as a shortstop, Jose Vizcaíno, and he had 46 bunt base hits one year in AAA.
There's a base hit up the right side. That's going to roll toward the corner. Longoria is going to get a couple out of this one. On his way to second with a double. Well, the Rays aren't finished yet. A lot of this game left, and now Longoria is in scoring position.
That's what you got to do with Bartolo Colon, because he's just painting both sides of the plate, is take what he gives you. Nice smooth swing by Evan Longoria to drop into the corner in right field for the double.
Carlos Pena, 1 for 2. Upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Popped up, headed toward the stands. Brzezinski back, but that's going to be out of play. Carlos connected on a 1-2 pitch in the 2nd inning, hitting 1 out, his 6th home run of the year. And that extends his hitting streak to 10.
That last swing of Carlos, that was like an excuse me, he wanted to hold up. And pretty fortunate it fouled it out of play.
He hits another high pop foul. This one straight back and out of play.
Yeah, Bartolo Colon just riding up above Carlos's hands a little bit too high for Carlos to get to. That's down about 4 inches more. He hits another one out. That's what you got to do, though, with Carlos, because he hits that ball out over the plate and down really good because he loads well. The back leg, like we talked about. So you do try to ride the ball above his hands and try to strike him out.
And he is out on strikes. Colon rushed one up there. Strikeout number 4 in the second out.
Yeah, Colon reached back on that one, saved a little. 93 fastball, and that's exactly what he's trying to do. He was trying for the strikeout there. No two-seamer on that one. Take a look. He reached back and got a little extra. That's a 4-seamer off the outside corner, but too tough to hold up on.
That 4-seamer really moved, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Outside to Pat Burrell. Ball, no strikes.
That's what's tough about these veteran guys that are, aging star players. They save a little. Pedro Martinez would do that. Can't throw 95 anymore, but every once in a while in the 6th inning, there it is.
1-1.
Pat can get you close.
Yes, he can.
He can make this a 1-run game.
Colon missed the corner.
Here, AJ Pierzynski's, he's exaggerating bringing the ball in, and when a catcher does that on a ball off the outside corner, you're letting everybody know it's a ball. You're letting the home plate umpire know it's outside. So AJ's a good catcher, but you really don't want to exaggerate that too much. You just want to freeze it.
2-2.
That's why that pitch to B.J. Upton in the 5th, the 3-2 strikeout. Pierzynski brought the glove in about 4 inches, and that lets the umpire know it must have been outside. But he got the call.
Longoria at second with a double, 2 outs, and the 2-2 to Burrell. Foul the fastball right back into the screen. Okay, Colon, he's moved it around a little bit. Every once in a while he'll change speeds, but he's really used his command of the fastball, both up and down, and with a little movement. That's been his bread and butter tonight.
Yeah, he really hasn't thrown the curveball hardly at all. It's 2-seamers and 4-seamers.
Chop to the right side. Comes up with it, and no play. Over to third goes Longoria, and Pat Burrell is aboard with a base hit.
Well, that was the 2-seamer again by Colon, and Pat just found a good spot, and Getz saved a run right there by keeping it in the infield. Bart. Pat hits it off the end of the bat a little bit, but found the right spot. And right away, Getz was looking for the runner, Longoria. If he looks up at first base, he might have a throw over there.
Don Cooper, the pitching coach, is out there to spend some time with Colon.
Well, I think what I've seen at this inning, Colon was airing a couple fastballs out. I think he already knew that he was probably going to be his last inning anyway. Through 6 innings of no-run ball against the Minnesota Twins, and he's in the 6th right now. And
that's sometimes the message from the pitching coach here. 2 on, 2 out, 6th inning. Deanna Navarro is going to be the hitter, and Matt Thornton goes to work in the bullpen. He's the left-hander down there for the White Sox.
Well, when the White Sox signed Colon, and that's really what they were looking for. Number 1, for him to be healthy enough to make the opening day roster. Number 2, to give you about 6 innings. He's not a 9-inning guy anymore.
Navarro takes one upstairs. It's 1-0.
He's up to 88 now. The last 2 innings, he's been taxed a little bit. 23 in the 5th, 21 this inning.
Yeah, he made 44 through the first 4 and 44 so far here in the 5th and 6th innings. Is on deck. They have Thornton down in the bullpen, and the overall pitch count has hit 90 for Cologne.
Well, that's why Don Cooper went out there to give Thornton time, because I'm sure he said this is your last hitter either way.
And a strike on the edge. 3-1.
The Honors had a couple good at bats, so he worked the count well in the 5th and ended up getting a double to right center, and he's worked the count well here, 3-1.
And he draws the walk. So the bases are loaded in the bottom of the 6th. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Gabe Gross is the hitter.
A.J. Przinsky going to the mound now. I believe that should give Thornton a little bit more time.
Yeah, I do too. You would think.
I would think so. Ozzie didn't. Ozzie's kind of ways. Are you ready? You see Ozzie's hand right there? Is he ready? And now he nods. Thornton just gave a nod, but yeah, there he goes. There he goes. It just took a little time. That's the games we play with managers, you know. AJ, you go out there and talk. It took Thornton a little while to get going down there.
So the bases are loaded with 2 outs. Move to the bullpen for the White Sox, and we'll be back in a moment. The 76ers in Game 1. Get your playoff coverage from the network that's been with the team all season. That's the Magic and the 76ers. Coverage begins Sunday at 4:30 with Inside the Magic, followed by live Game 1 coverage on Sun Sports. Satellite customers catch Sunday's game on DirecTV channel 656 and Dish Network channel 451. Matt Thornton, the new pitcher. Ben Zobrist will pinch hit. And he swings through a mid-90s fastball. Strike 1. Thornton pitched the 8th inning last night. Gave up a hit and a walk, picked up 2 strikeouts.
Well, I think he's loose. He's throwing 95 as usual. I mean, he'll get it up to 97, 98 once in a while.
A big blast there. How about that?
That sounded like a grand slam right off the bat. I mean, he smoked that ball. He couldn't square that up any better than what he did. Wow.
A 1-1 pitch, and Zobrist hit it out of here.
Reminiscent of a lot of comebacks last year, right?
Oh, man. You know, when Zobrist hit that home run against Toronto last year, that was a big blast. How about this one? Wow. Hockey fouls it out of play. That's his 3rd career grand slam.
This is just gas from Thornton. I mean, he's trying to power a fastball in, and Zobrist was all over it. He was ready for it. And I like what Ben did right away coming off the bench. He knew he was going to get hard stuff, and he let it fly the first pitch. He missed it, but he was ready to hit. I like that. You got a pinch hitter coming up there with the bases loaded. No fooling around. Swing the bat, and he did.
It's only the 2nd pinch hit grand slam the Rays have ever hit in the history of the franchise. Randy Wynn hit one. Remember him? Well, Ben Zobrist has just hit a big one right here. A grand slam off the hard-throwing left-hander Matt Thornton.
Well, you talk about momentum switches.
And the liner into left center field by Aki. That's going to be in there. Cut off by Quentin. Aki's on his way to second, and he's in there with a double.
It's interesting, too, because the White Sox game is home runs. They led the major leagues with 235, and they hit a couple last inning. Quentin and died. But the Rays were 4th in the American League last year, tied for 4th with 180 home runs. And this year, they're 3rd in baseball in home runs, the Rays are. There's Aki's swing right there, head down, staying through it. He hits that, I call it the seam in left center. I mean, that splits the gap as well as anybody in the American League in left center.
Bartlett tried to check. That's a strike. Scott Linebrink is up in the bullpen for the White Sox. Boy, a sudden turn with one swing of the bat from Ben Zobrist. This one off the mid of Brzezinski. Over to third goes Imamura.
You know what's interesting in thinking about the bullpen, it took Matt Thornton a while to get ready. I mean, Don Cooper went out there, give him some time, and then when the walk to Navarro happened, Thornton wasn't ready. Ozzie was waiting. He had sent Brzezinski out there. So it tells you a couple things. Number one, he wasn't loose enough, but was he really ready to pitch? Yeah, he's ready to throw 95, but was he ready to make pitches? And Don Cooper on the phone saying, is Linebrink ready?
Way high. Fastball, and now the count is 2-1.
So you got to be mentally ready, not just to get loose. You got to be ready mentally to attack the hitter. And I think that's what Ozzie and Don Cooper are concerned about. Zobrist didn't waste any time.
Bartlett looks at this one down. So he's ahead in the count, 3-1. He's trying to pick up this other run. Got a man at third with 2 outs. And Don Cooper's headed to the mound in the middle of the at bat here. The count 3-1. He's seen this lead evaporate. Zobrist gave up the Zobrist hit the grand slam off Thornton, and then Thornton gave up a double. And Mike McDougal starts to throw. Linebrink was up earlier. Now it's McDougal. Neil Moore doubled and went to third on what they've scored a wild pitch.
Yeah, I don't think Matt was just ready to pitch in the 6th inning. Maybe the bullpen thought Colon was throwing so well he'd be fine, but after Longoria's doubled to right field, strikes out Pena. Burrow gets a little infield hit, and the inning imploded on Bartolo Colon.
And there's ball 4. Yeah, that's the thing about Colon, who made 92 pitches. He's saddled with 5 runs in 5 2/3.
You bet, and he knows he pitched much better than that. I mean, he's got to know inside he feels pretty good about the way he performed, but pitchers they don't like to be saddled with those Ernies.
Now B.J. Upton with men at 1st and 3rd. Krasinski's going to go to the mound to take up some more time. They want to see if they can get McDougal ready. Buckner out there to try to move it along. Krasinski was doing everything he could. He's checking his spikes, making sure that they're okay. And here comes Ozzie.
Yeah. McDougal's still throwing, so I mean that tells you he's not 100% ready, even though the bullpen wave to Ozzie said he is. But he's still throwing down there. He wants a couple extra pitches. He's going to take one more. I mean, Ozzie's already gone out there. The umpire should be bringing him in right now. When a manager's already out there, he should be coming in.
Calls to the bullpen, and there's
3 more pitches.
Yeah, the final toss down there. So we'll be back in just a moment with the new Chicago pitcher. Alltel Wireless. Now there's a circle for everyone. Call 5, 10, or 20 numbers on any network with My Circle, exclusively from Alltel. A pinch hit grand slam for Zobrist. The Rays have taken a 6-5 lead. Last year, Zobrist hit 2 grand slams within the span of a couple weeks. He hit one here against Baltimore. Fernando Cabrera, and a couple of weeks later hit one against the Yankees in New York of Sidney Ponson. We connected tonight off Matt Thornton. And now the right-hander McDougal in to face the right-handed bat of B.J. Upton. Bartlett, the runner at first, and down at third is Akinori Iwamura.
You know, the pitch that Zobrist hit too, looking at the replay again, that was a good pitch. I mean, that was a better piece of hitting, but that's exactly where Thornton wanted the ball. That's exactly where Przinsky was setting up in.
Goes Bartlett, a wave and a miss, and the throw down is not in time. A stolen base by Bartlett. The Rays didn't waste any time in getting Bartlett into scoring position at second. That's his 5th stolen base.
Good jump. Straight steal. Not looking back. Straight into the bag.
A base hit would be very big here. And it's down. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Took McDougal a while to get ready too. He wasn't exactly loose down there. 4 games this season, ERA pushing 12.5.
Ball, 2 strikes.
A slider out of the zone. BJ Chase not happy with himself. He knows it.
Two low. 2-2. So 5 runs off Colon, 1 off Thornton. He leaves with 2 men on base. Both now in scoring position. And a 2-2 count to Upton. Low, and the count is full.
Przinsky saved a run there. Try to get through the wickets between the legs there of AJ, but he blocked it up nicely.
More action in the bullpen. Clayton Richard, the left-hander. And there's ball 4. So Upton draws the walk. That'll load the bases for Carl Crawford. Not a lot of at-bats for the Rays in the lineup against McDougal, and Ozzy's got the left-hander up, and he's going to go that way. He wants the lefty here against Crawford, so another pitching change. Ozzie Guillen pulling out the stops here in the 6th inning. We'll be back in a moment. Clayton Richard, 25-year-old lefty in the game. And the pitch to Crawford is a strike. Carl opened the 6th inning when he popped out. So he's looking for his first hit. Rays getting their first look at this left-hander. Pitch is high. 1-1. To retire the side. Rays are finished in the 6th, but they score 4. The big blast, the grand slam home run by Ben Zobrist, a pinch hit grand slam. 6-5 Rays. .6-5 the Rays lead as we go to the 7th inning. James Shields back to the hill for the Rays, and he has a whole new lease on life right now. Brian Anderson leads off, and the pitch is high. 1 ball, no strikes.
And the momentum, of course, is back to the Rays, and this is where you got to put a 0 up there. After your team scores 4 in a grand slam and gets you off the hook, now you got to go out there and pound the zone.
Chopper to third. Longoria right there and makes the throw to first. And Anderson is out of there, 1 away. Experience a Rays game from the all-inclusive Whitney Bank Club. Extraordinary seating, luxurious lounge and dining areas. The Whitney Bank Club offers an upscale full menu buffet and inclusive drink options. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or go to RaysBaseball.com for more information. Pitch into Getz for a strike.
I like that he's back out there too. That was a long inning, but you know what? The last 3 outs in the 6th, you got a couple ground balls, and you know he's your #1 starter as far as rotation, and I like his intensity, and you know he'll put a 0 up there for you.
Foul ball by Getz. 1-2. Ryan Schaus, the lefty, is busy in the Rays bullpen now.
It's those final 9 outs. We talked about it all season. You got to get. You got one of them. 8 outs to go. So you got. I think Joe Maddon will kind of go situational here, hitter to hitter. Gets Fields and in the heart of the order. Quentin and Tomey is when you got to be careful.
Ground ball, second base for Hockey. His throw to Pena in time.
You know what that does for a pitcher too when your manager says, hey, you're the guy, go back out there. You can do do it, I mean, that says a lot.
That fires him up.
Absolutely. And I know James wanted to go back out there. I mean, he wants to pitch. He was the first guy out there while the ground crew was dragging the infield, and he was ready to go. If anything, you got to hold him back a little bit.
Zobrist in right field after pinch hitting and belting the grand slam. Pitch to Fields is inside. 1 ball, no strikes. One and one. Ground ball out from Anderson. Ground ball out from Getz. That's a strike. 1 and 2.
Good curveball right there after a nice cutter. 89. He comes with the overhand curve at 74 miles per hour. Nice.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
Changeup right there.
Two delivery. Foul back. Came back with a fastball in on Fields.
The last 4 pitches, Fields has seen everything from James Shields. Slider, curve, changeup, and that was 93 on the hands.
2-2. Outside. Full count. Shields about to make his 100th pitch of the night. 2 outs into the 7th. And a swing and a miss. He struck him out. 1, 2, 3 in the 7th for Shields against the White Sox. 7th inning stretch time. Rays will have Longoria, Pena, and Burrows due up, and they lead 6-5. In the 2nd inning, gave the Rays an early lead, but the White Sox went back to work. They hit 2 home runs in the 6th inning. Clinton and Dye connected, but the Rays got the big blast, a grand slam in the bottom of the 6th from Ben Zobrist, and they lead 6-5. And it's Longoria leading off the home half of the 7th, taking the pitch down, ball 1. Longoria doubled in that 4-run 6th and scored. It's 1-1. He's facing the left-hander. Richard came on following Cologne, Thornton, and McDougal. He got the final out in the 7th. Ground ball, shortstop. Ramirez up with it. The throw to first in time. One away for Carlos Pena. Five runs charged to Colon, one to Thornton. So Carlos Pena in the batter's box. Rays start to get some action in the bullpen. Pitch is down, a ball to no strikes. Dan Wheeler is up in the bullpen for the Rays.
Yeah, I think Joe Madden, you got 7 innings out of Shields. You got the heart of the order: Quentin, Tomei, and Dye. And all 3 guys off of Shields in the 6th got hits. The home run, the infield little tap by Tomei, and then the home run to Dye. Quentin and Dye hitting the home run. So I think Shields has done his job. Seven innings and came back well in the 7th to get him out 1-2-3.
Ground ball down to first. Konerko makes the play unassisted. 2 ground balls here in the 7th. Pat Burrell's going to be the hitter. Pat singled in the 6th. He's 1 for 3. The pitch is a strike.
Richard turns that ball over. He's got that off-speed pitch at 80 to 81 mile an hour changeup.
Little tap, shortstop. Ramirez up with it. The throw is in time, so he throws 3 ground balls in the 7th. We're at the end of 7. On to the 8th we go with the score 6-5 Rays. Day brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color, and we'll go back to last year in the postseason. That was a little dust up between Orlando Cabrera and Grant Balfour. Exchanged pleasantries, and then Balfour finished the inning. Just as middle relievers keep their teams in the game, you too can stay in the game with Just for Men Hair Color. First pitch from Shields to Carlos Quentin is a ground ball to third. And so Quentin goes out. Longoria to Pena. The Rays have a left-hander and a right-hander in the bullpen. Shields out to open the 8th. Jim Thome, the left-handed bat, being announced, and what Madden's going to do here, trying to get the final 5 outs of the game. We'll go hitter to hitter. He has Schaus down there in the bullpen with Tomey due up, and then Jermaine Dye is scheduled up after him, and Wheeler continues to throw. And so that's going to be it for James Shields. He made 101 pitches, 7 1/3, and he'll leave with a chance to be the winner in a 6-5 ball game. He 101 pitches. He came back after getting through that 3-run 6th. Had a 1-2-3 7th and got the first out of the 8th. And now the left-hander Brian Schaus is in the game to face Jim Tomey. The pitch is a strike. Schaus got that call down around the knees. Strike 1.
And Schaus' job is to get one lefty tonight, and this is the guy, Jim Tomey. Just as he did the other night when he got Robbie Cano of the Yankees on the ground ball. Dan Wheeler would be ready now. When Dan Wheeler got up last inning when the Rays were hitting, he had gotten up after 1 out, so that was the game plan all along by Joe Madden. It's the right one. Have Shields go to one hitter, then bring Schaus in for the lefty, and then Dan Wheeler. Either way, no matter what Shields did, that would have been his only hitter in this inning. Quentin.
2-1, and Schaus against lefties for his career, just .210. Oh, and a base hit the other way against the shift, and Tomey is aboard. So Tomey comes up with a base hit the other way. He had a hit against the shift on that little dribbler in the 6th. And now he'll be lifted. Tomey will be lifted for a pinch runner. Jerry Owens will pinch run for Tomey. And the Rays are going to make another pitching change. We'll be back in a moment. See how club goes from worst to first, looking at the memorable moments in the Rays' dramatic turnaround and meet the unique personalities that made it possible. Inside the Rays, a breakthrough season tonight following our game coverage on Sun Sports. Dan Wheeler, pitcher number 3 for the Rays. He'll inherit a runner at first. Owens is running for Tomey, who singled against Brian Schaus. Wheeler is brought on to face Jermaine Dye. Fourth appearance for Wheeler. He worked Tuesday when he was touched for 4 by the Yankees. And here's Dye. Pitch, mid low and outside. Didn't miss by much. 1 ball, no strikes.
Yeah, that's a good little slide ball right there in the outside corner. That's where you got to pitch Dye. You got to keep the ball down on Dye. Good high ball hitter.
Over to first. Owens is back in.
A little flinch over there by Owens. He can run. I mean, that's one thing that he can do. He can fly.
He had 30 stolen bases in the minor leagues last year. Again, a move to first. So he runs for Tomey. Runner goes. The pitch is foul back.
Yeah, he flinched twice. I mean, you could tell he was going. 1-0. I mean, that's why you throw over there with the quick move to see what the runner's doing. And both times on the throws to first base, there was a flinch, and he gave it away. A lot of times the manager will take it off when he sees his runner flinch like that. Take it off, put it back on. Of course, if you're on your own totally, it's a different story. Tough to read.
That's a strike. And it's 1-2.
Good location right there. That's some paint on the outside corner and down.
Owens 2 years ago, between the White Sox and the minor leagues, had over 50 stolen bases in the season. 1-2 pitch up. Now it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, for a good base stealer, this is a really good running count. Because Dan is usually around the plate. Usually he's down as a ground ball pitcher. It could open up a hole if Owens is in motion here.
And a move to first with that in mind.
See that
Owens
flinch?
back in.
See a little flinch right there? I mean, he's trying to read the pitchers. A lot of guys look at the front left shoulder. Some guys will look at the feet. And as soon as Dan Wheeler moved, there's a little flinch going towards second, and he gets back. So he was going before the last throw. And these are put on from the bench. I don't believe Owens is on his own. I think this is coming from the bench on the count.
Nine back in. Owens with the lead. 2-2 the count to the hitter. The runner is going, and the pitch is swing and a miss, and the throw. They're going to get him. He's safe. He got in under the tag. Hockey appeared that he might have a chance to get him, and Owens got in under the tag. Navarro with a quick release.
Yeah, that's a straight steal. I mean, he's not even looking back to see what Dye's doing. That was put on from the bench. There's a sweep of the tag there. Yeah, good call. He didn't get him. It looked like the first angle possibly did, but going head first and down. Nice try by Aki, but he was a good foot away from Owens.
So Owens steals second. 2 outs with Dye striking out, and the hitter becomes Paul Konerko.
Big strikeout to get Dye there for the 3rd time tonight.
There's a strike slider to start Konerko. One-run game. Speed at second now, and Owens, the pinch runner, after the steal. Pitch and a ground ball to third. Longoria with time, and he makes the play to retire the side. No runs, a hit with a man left. We head into the home half of the 8th, and the Rays lead 6-5. TobaccoFreeFlorida.com for more information. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at Geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. Back at Tropicana Field, the Rays with a 4-run 6th have taken a 6-5 lead, and they come in to hit in the bottom of the 8th with Deanna Navarro, the leadoff man. He takes ball 1.
Real nice throw by Deanna Navarro.
Yeah, I thought he made a heck of a throw. Owens very fast, and he got rid of the ball quickly. There's a strike, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, he made a great throw. Aki took the throw a little bit in front of the bag, more than you thought from the first angle we saw. The great camera work at the side angle, and it's the right call.
2 balls and a strike. Well, let's see if the Rays can add a run or two here in the 8th inning to carry into the 9th. Ground ball. Diving stop. Fields up and throwing. And Navi's out of there. 1 away.
Yeah, Fields was about even with the bag, but he was wide at third. It's a reactionary position. Crossover step and a dive. So the third baseman is a hot corner. It's a nice play.
You know, Ben Zobrist. We haven't seen a lot of Fields. He reminds me of, remember Herbert Perry?
Absolutely.
He reminds me of
Indians.
the way he moved.
Yeah.
Yep. He spent some time with the Rays.
I remember when he started with the Indians too.
The strike, 1-1. He could hit. He
sure could.
His knees just ran out on him.
Yep.
But he could hit. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Clayton Richard, crafty lefty, turns it over. A lot of changeups, off speed.
Little tap by Zobrist. He might have a chance and will. That's a base hit. Then Zobrist with his second hit since entering the game. An infield hit to the left side. But this guy he does everything he can to make himself better. He plays hard. He works hard. Made himself stronger. We've seen that with that home run bat the last year and a half.
You had mentioned an interesting stat to me the other day. At second base, home runs per position.
Yeah, he has more home runs per at bat, a greater ratio than any other guy at second base over the last year.
Incredible.
Throw to first. Oh, and he's picked off. Well, we said too many good things about him. And he's picked off first.
Well, you put that one in the log. Clayton Richard has a good move. You haven't seen him before. You found out something there. Little lean. Yep.
That's pretty close over there.
Close.
Pitch to Aki is a strike.
There's the freeze right there. There's the hand. Did he get there before? Yeah, like a little bit of air there. Looked like it might have been the right call. Mike Everett, first base umpire.
2 balls and a strike. He fouls that one back. Aki had a double in the 6th, giving him 1 for 3. Foul, and that deflects off the mask of C.B. Buckner. We'll rattle things around a little bit. Swings and misses the ball away from Brzezinski, but he has time to make the throw to Konerko, and that retires the side. So we'll go into the 9th inning. Brzezinski, Ramirez, and Anderson due up. Rays lead 6-5. home run. Jermaine Dye hit a 2-run home run to cap a 3-run inning. That made it 5-2, but the Rays got them all back and one more on the grand slam, the pinch hit grand slam by Ben Zobrist. That made it 6-5, and as we go to the 9th, it's still 6-5. Zobrist in right field. Troy Percival takes over on the hill. Shields for 7 1/3. Schaus to 1 hitter. Wheeler 2/3. And now Percival on to face A.J. Pierzynski. The pitch is swung on and popped into short left. Crawford is there. One away.
Well,
one pitch, one out.
You take that first pitch. That was a good pitch down. That's what Troy's got to do. He's been getting the ball up in the 2 appearances he's had. He did get 1 saved, but boy, Longoria made a great play in that game to spear a 1-hopper by Pedroia to save that game. And the appearance against the Yankees didn't work out the other night.
Here's Ramirez, and he fouls it. Strike 1.
Nice job, by the way, by Dan Wheeler. Big strikeout to get Dye and round out 5-3 to Paul Konerko. He did his job. Percival's got to do his now.
A little close. It's 1-1. 1 out. Ramirez the hitter. Wilson Benavides has come out on deck. Anderson due, but he'll be lifted. Wave and a miss. A big cut on the fastball.
I like what Navarro's doing. He's sitting up down. He's got his leg extended. He's got his knee down. He's trying to accentuate so Troy has a good target down in the zone. That ball was still up a little bit. Ramirez swung through it.
Percival's 1-2 pitch. And he got him. He got him to chase again. It wasn't the hardest fastball that Percival's ever thrown, but he got Ramirez to chase it.
Nice job by Navarro. Watch him with the glove. Well, here's the pitch first. Navarro wants the high target. There it is. And that's where Troy got it, right above his hands. Watch Navarro. He wants that ball up there. That's by design. Going right above his hands to get him to chase. Good sequencing.
The 2 outs here in the 9th, and the pinch hitter is Wilson Benavides.
Now, Wilson is a much better left-handed hitter. This is his power side. You got to stay away from him.
And the pitch is wide off the plate. A ball and no strikes.
4 pinch hit home runs. When he was with the Dodgers, I believe most of those, if not all of them, were with the Dodgers. Left-handed.
Down and in. 2 balls and no strikes. These guys matching up for the first time, Percival and Benavides. How about that?
Interesting, yeah.
2-0 pitch. Ground ball. That's going to be into right center field for a base hit out of the reach of Aki. And so Benavides comes up with a pinch hit single. 2 outs, and that'll get Chris Getz, the second baseman, to the plate.
That's Benavides' strength. I mean, he is a good fastball hitter from the left side, especially on balls up and out over the plate. Fortunate that that ball wasn't put in the air. And Iwamura was playing way over in the right side of the infield, so it got by him. But
Brent Lillibridge will run for Benavides.
Yeah, Lillibridge came over in the trade from the Atlanta Braves in the Javi Vasquez deal. Middle infielder. a little bit.
Gets the pitch. Boy, that's pretty close.
Wow.
1 ball, no strikes.
Well, there's been a few of those. A couple balls missed, I thought, on James Shields tonight. It should have been called strikes. Bartolo Colon had one as well. Don't need that right now in the 9th inning. Take a look at this pitch. That's paint right there.
It's 23 out of 30 in the stolen base department at Richmond. He's on the move, and there will be no throw. So he steals second.
That's one of the things Ozzie Guillen and Kenny Williams wanted. They wanted to get younger in a couple of areas with speed, and Lillibridge was one of them. They were really encouraged by him in spring training. Have the ability to steal a few bases.
Well, Lillibridge, pinch running, steals the base. A 2-0 count to Getz. Oh, ball 3. 3-0. He missed with a fastball out there. Percival delivers, throws a strike. He got the first 2 outs. Bennemet, the pinch hitter, single. Lillibridge, the pinch runner, has stolen a base. 3-1 to count to Getz. And there is ball 4 down and in. So with 2 outs, the White Sox put 2 men aboard. Josh Fields will now bat. Fields had 3 hits last night, including the infield hit in the 9th inning, and that scored a run. Turned out to be the difference in the game. He's up here in the 9th again tonight. 2 men on, 2 men out.
Rays outfield still shallow, especially throwing Crawford in left field to try to take the single away. That's the way Joe Madden wants to play it. Playing for the win. He's not worried about the double right here for 2 runs. He wants to play for the win. No base hits here. Carl.
You can afford to do that at home. Fields drove in a run with a ground ball to short tonight, and then hit a shot to third in the 5th. And McGorry caught. Runner takes off from second, throw to third, and there's a steal of third. Lillibridge steals third base. Remaining at first, Getz. Pitch to Fields, missed for a ball.
Now that had to be on his own there with Lillibridge, just reading Troy Percival. Now the hitter has a right to stay right in the box, and actually Fields did the right thing. You're not supposed to, as a hitter, I told my guys, don't duck and give the catcher a free shot. You can, as long as you're in the box, it is not interference.
1-0 pitch. Swing and a little popper. Right side, Aki out under it, and he's got it. Rays win. Rays come from behind with a 4-run 6th and hang on to knock off the Chicago White Sox tonight. 6-5, a dramatic victory for the Rays. White Sox leave 2 men on in the 9th inning, and this series is now even at a game apiece. Pop up by Fields. Iwamura racing out from second into short right field to glove it, and the Rays have knocked off Chicago 6-5. James Shields stuck around. He pitched 7 1/3. He picks up the win, his 2nd win of the year. Thornton will be the losing pitcher. A hold for Wheeler and a save for Percival as he worked the 9th. Gave up a hit and a walk, picked up a strikeout, and got the final out on the pop to short right, handled by Akinori Iwamura to end it. This, a thrilling victory for the Rays, and a victory they needed. They came back, boy, I'll tell you.